In the media, it was not immediately clear what had happened, explains Pat Selt, but what was clear was that right-wing extremists had already taken over the narrative. And they decided we're going to make clear what the real reasons behind this crime are, and that's why we demonstrate. The initial police statement reported a verbal dispute between persons of various nationalities that turned violent. A 35-year-old was killed and 2 men were apprehended. No other details on motive, weapon, or who the suspects might be were released. But on social media, speculation was rampant.
The key to budgeting is breaking down the aspects of the project and allocating the money you have where you think it needs to go. Actors and crew are most likely going to be your 2 biggest expenses, so you need to be efficient with your budget. Consider the potential impact of every dollar spent during pre-production meetings, and present a clear plan for your budget. The right camera, lighting, or location can all help add to the production value of your film. Take some time before you start shooting to scout some locations, even if you just go for a walk and think about the film. Invest in some excellent lighting and spend time in post getting the look right. Think local, rent equipment, and remember to get film permits for locations. We cannot logically justify any ticket price whatsoever for a non-event film. There are too many better options at too low a price. Simply getting out of the house or watching something somewhere because that is the only place it is currently available does not justify a ticket price enough. We still think of movies as things people will buy. We have to change our thinking about movies to something that enhances other experiences, and it is that which has monetary value. Film's power as a community organizing tool extends far beyond its power to sell popcorn. The industry has never made any attempt to build a sustainable investor class.
Every other industry has such a go-to funding sector, developed around a focus on the investor's concerns and standardized structures. In the film biz, each deal is different and generally stands alone, as opposed to leading to something more. Who really benefits by the limited options for funding currently available other than those funders and those who fee those deals? We could build something that works far more efficiently and offers far more opportunity.
The film business remains the virtually exclusive domain of the privileged. Although great strides have been made to diversify the industry, the numbers don't lie. The film industry is ruled by white men from middle-class or better socioeconomic backgrounds. It is an expensive art form and a competitive field, but it doesn't need to be a closed-door one. These days everyone needs to intern, and the proposition of working for free is too expensive for most. There is no structure or mechanism to increase liquidity of film investments, either through clear exit strategies or secondary capital markets. The dirty secret of film investment is that it is a long recoupment cycle with little planning for an exit strategy.
Independent filmmakers and their industry advisors build business plans based on models and notions selected from before September 15, 2008, when Lehman Brothers collapsed and everything changed. It is not the same business as it was then, and we shouldn't treat it that way. Expectations have changed considerably, probably completely. Buyers and audiences' behaviors are different. Products are valued at different levels. We live in a new world. Our strategies must change with it. The film business remains a single product industry. The product may be available on many different platforms, but it is still the same thing. For such a capital-intensive enterprise to sell only one thing is a squandering of time and money. Films can be a platform to launch many different products and enterprises, some of which can also enhance the experience and build the community.
We have done very little thinking or discussing about how to make events out of our movies. The list seems to have stopped at 3D. There's only been one Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the first one is very old. Music flourishes because the live component is generally quite different from the recorded one, and the film biz could benefit from a greater differentiation of what utilizes different platforms. We ignore film's most unique attribute, as demonstrated by how little of people's online time is spent watching content. 30%. We know that people want connectivity community more than anything else. There used to be film societies, just like reviewers once placed films in cultural context. We need to recreate a community aspect to film going. If you wonder why people don't go to the movies more, it is not as much about the content as it is about the lack of community. Without that, why not just stay home to watch? Film's strongest attribute is its ability to work as a community organizing tool. Film forces us to feel, to think, to engage. Let's not ignore that.
Independent film financing is still based around an antiquated foreign sales model, despite the fact that all acquisition markets are collapsing and fee levels shrink market to market. This old model is centered around stars' perceived value, an attribute that has been less reliable than ever before. There has got to be a better way than the foreign sales estimate model, but no one talks about it, or even admits to needing one. The participants that get most hurt by this are the investors who take the advice of the experts that this is the way it's done. It used to be done this way, but we have to move on before we burn to the ground.
Skitters don't own their audiences yet. What will happen when agents start to cut deals for their clients who have 1 million engaged fans, people who will pre-order their content, promote it passionately, and deliver more of their friends? There is a shift in the balance of power about to happen, and those that had prepared for it, amass their followings, will be able to change the conversation significantly. We've failed to develop fetish objects to demonstrate one's love of cinema. The only merchandise we sell is fanboy toys. We need to come up with items that demonstrate their owner's sense of style and taste. Such products manufacture desire and enhance identification with the art form. We need to streamline the process of the transformation of leisure time into both intellectual and social capital, i.e. moviegoing and its byproducts. How do we identify, reward, and encourage those that appreciate our work?
Creators, distributors, and marketers have accepted a dividing line between art and commerce, between content and marketing. By not engaging the filmmakers in how to use marketing tools within their narrative and how to bring narrative techniques to marketing, we diminish the discovery and promotional potential of each film. We limit the scope of our art by restricting it to the plane of the 90-minute product. Movies should find us early, lead us to new worlds, bridge us to subsequent experiences, connect us to new passions and loves, help us embrace a more expansive definition of cinema, life, and self. We don't recognize that one of film's greatest assets is its ability to generate data. Financiers should be insisting on owning the data their films generate. It is an incredibly valuable commodity. The VOD platform allows for tracking of where and when and who in terms of the business, yet this data is restricted to aggregators, not creators.